We are right at the start of Nurse Practitioner Week, so this video comes at the perfect time. Let's take a quick moment to celebrate all of the hard-working, amazing nurse practitioners out there providing quality care to so many of you. Nurse practitioners play such a huge and pivotal role in filling such a huge gap that there is in healthcare. So I just want to take a moment to salute and honor all of the NPs out there. I hope that you are celebrating yourselves. So if you are receiving care from a nurse practitioner or you know a nurse practitioner, this week, show them some love, give them some thanks, help to celebrate them in small ways, in large ways, whatever your heart desires. Nurse Practitioner Week officially runs this year from Sunday, November 10th, all the way through Saturday, November 16th. Oftentimes, patients and loved ones will send text messages, will send cards virtually or in person, flowers, whatever the case may be. Sometimes I've gotten like little $5 local coffee shop gift cards and things of that nature. Nursing really is such a true work of heart, and it deserves all of the recognition in the world. But for those of you specifically wondering how you can celebrate me this week, number one, drop me a comment. I really do love engaging and talking with you all, so feel free to drop me a comment down below, even if it's just to say hi. Number two, subscribe to my channel, or even give this video or another video a thumbs up. Click on that thumbs up button. It really does go such a long way to help me grow my platform here on YouTube. And number three, I just got access to a new feature on my channel, which is you can send me a super thanks. A super thanks is a way for you guys here on my channel, you guys here watching this video, to support my channel and continue to help it grow. I've included a little short demo on how to find where the super thanks button is and what you need to do after that. So thank you in advance for any and all love that I do receive, any and all support that I receive. You guys are amazing, and I enjoy making this content for you guys. But wait up, hold on, where are my manners? My name is Dr. Knox. I am a DNP, and I have a curiosity and passion for all things health and wellness. So like I said before, if you are new here, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you are returning, thank you. Let's get into today's video. Okay, so getting into the question of the day. What is a DNP? DNP stands for Doctor of Nursing Practice. But let's take a quick look at how I got here. So I started off my nursing journey by obtaining my bachelor's degree in nursing at Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls, Texas. I practiced as an RN on a cardiac telemetry unit for 3 to 4 years, right in the heart of the Texas Medical Center. I then moved on to get my master's in nursing at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas, and I practiced as a nurse practitioner for about 5 to 6 years. At that point, I was enjoying my life. I was enjoying being free from school, and I don't know that I had a plan after I received my master's degree to go back and get my DNP. It wasn't something that I was against by any means. I just don't think it was top of mind for me. But then I did go back to get my DNP from Samuel Merritt University in Oakland, California. And I have been practicing as a DNP now for 3 years. Now, typically, if I say Doctor of Nursing Practice, it doesn't really register right away with patients using that specific terminology. It doesn't register to them that I am a nurse practitioner or even a healthcare provider. So typically when I introduce myself to my patients, I go into a room and I'm like, hi, hey, good to see you, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. My name is Dr. Knox. I'm the nurse practitioner that will be helping you today. I do not go by Dr. Knox in the real world, but for the sake of this video, Dr. Knox is what we'll use. If they have any questions after that, then I can go into further explanation. But honestly, since I've been an MP, which has been over a decade now, I've never had it happen. I've had some people who are more familiar with the role of a nurse practitioner then start to say, oh, that's really cool. I know somebody who has a DNP, or, do you recommend it for people who have their NP, which we will get into later in this video. So typically if further conversation comes up, it's from a standpoint of someone who has more than just your general basic knowledge of nursing. And so they're just wanting to get further information or to give more congratulations. To be very honest, most patients are like, your doctor something cool, she's the person that can help me, she's the person that I'm here to see to help me fix my problems and to get better. So what is a DNP? We know what it means, but what is it? So a DNP is a nurse practitioner who has received further education, further schooling to obtain a doctoral degree, a terminal degree in the field of nursing. It is not the same as a PhD. Typically, someone who has their PhD in nursing is focusing more on research, not necessarily on clinical practice. So what's the difference between a DNP and an NP as far as their scope of practice, what they can and cannot do? So to start, nurse practitioners have their master's degree. And as I mentioned, DNPs hold a doctoral degree, a terminal degree, representing the highest level of education in clinical nursing practice. Now, depending on what setting you work in, what job setting you are in, there may not be much difference outside of that. With a DNP, you are also prepared for roles in leadership, administration, policy, and educational roles. But there are people in those roles who only have a master's degree. What most people tend to want to know is, can they both write prescriptions? Can they both order imaging? Can they both order and interpret labs? Can they both diagnose? And the answer to that is yes. Nurse practitioners with their master's and their doctorate can both do all of those things. There are no restrictions from that standpoint. And I guess also there are no advantages to the DNP from that standpoint. So why did I get my DNP? My reasons for getting a DNP were many, but I will share the top 5 reasons why I chose to get my DNP. Number 1, believe it or not, I actually really love school. I have a friend who's like, I don't know, nobody that likes school as much as you do. I enjoy learning, and that is inside of a school setting and outside. And so for me, that was a big selling point. It's like, oh, okay, I get to do this again. I'm going to do it. Number 2, I had no school debt, and also my job was helping to reimburse some of my tuition payments. So it kind of felt like a win-win from that standpoint as well. Had I already had debt, or had I had to take on the full cost of tuition myself, I probably still would have went, but I probably would have delayed it a little bit further. And that's just because I am very in tune and on top of my finances, and me and debt don't go together really well. So I try to do everything that I can to mitigate and minimize how much debt I put myself into. And I look at the overall return on my investment to see whether a certain amount of debt is worth it to me personally. Number 3 was representation. I think representation is so important, especially for people of color, for Black people. And according to a 2020 report from, I believe it was the AACN, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, they reported in 2020 that only about 9% of DNPs were of Black descent, of Black origin. So not only am I doing it for representation for the current patients that we have, but also for the future generations of people coming into the healthcare and nursing field. I think it's important to be able to see people who look like you in spaces that you aspire to be. Reason number 4 is I am pretty spiritual, and I believe that my ancestors went through a lot here in the States, here in this country, to fight for equality, to fight for more opportunities and more privileges. And I do not take their sacrifice lightly at all. I do consider myself some of our ancestors' wildest dreams. And in order to honor and pay homage to them, I plan to take advantage of many opportunities that they could not have even dreamed of. And number 5, the way that I live my life, we only have one life to live. And so for me personally, when there's something that I know I can get into, I know I can complete, I know I will graduate on time, and I'm not going to be in debt, it's almost like, why wouldn't I do it? So for me, those reasons alone were very motivating and persuading for me to go ahead and obtain my DNP. Would I recommend it to others? Would I recommend that you or someone you know get their DNP? Honestly, I think it's a very personal choice. As you can see, some of the reasons for me getting my DNP had nothing to do with me individually individually. It had to do with things outside of me, factors outside of me, community, and paying homage and respect to those that came before me. However, I still stand by it 100%. The decision that I made, it is not for everyone. I think you need to take into consideration what your reason for getting the DNP would be, what your personal why is, and I think you really need to take into consideration what your future game plan is and if it will benefit you from that standpoint. Do I have any regrets? Not at all. I don't regret it, not one bit. I feel amazing to be able to call myself a doctor, Dr. Knox. Like, that means something to me. It holds weight. It holds value. I don't put all of my value in any title or any role that I have, but that is something that is significant to me. So no regrets at all. My final words whenever I have any conversation about the nursing field is that I stand heavily believing that nursing is such an amazing field to get into, because not only is there so much flexibility, but there's also financial security. Now, there's levels to what I just said. We're not going to get into it for the sake of this video, but from a general baseline perspective, those two things hold very true. If you don't want to draw blood, there's a job for that. If you want to work with children, there's a job for that. If you want to work in dermatology, there's a job for that. If you don't really want to be patient facing, there's a job for that. If you want to work remote, there's a job for that. And it's not like when you get into a specific setting, you're stuck there. You can pivot as many times as you want. And I don't know many other career fields that allow you that flexibility. That alone has been such a saving grace for me as I've gone through different phases in life, as far as, you know, being single, living with my older brothers, and then transitioning to moving in, getting married, and having a husband. Like, what job is going to help to, you know, help create a work-life balance, a healthy work-life balance from that standpoint. Then becoming a mom, I was able to pivot again to find a schedule that really works for what our lifestyle looks like now. And so I will rave about it. Whether you choose to get your BSN, your MSN, or your DNP, I think the field of nursing is amazing. There are some people who may not have that same experience or express the same sentiments, but I would argue that typically they had a really negative experience in a certain setting, maybe even once or twice, and that kind of scarred them. I have not had that experience, and so I would tell that person and anyone else that's, you know, on the fence about it in a negative way, the power of pivot is beautiful. The power of pivoting is beautiful. There's just such a big career playing field, so to speak, for you to explore. But now I am off to go celebrate. You know what? You guys let me know. I have been thinking about this for quite some time. So there's Nurses Week, there's Nurse Practitioner Week, and there's DNP Week. Do I get to celebrate all of them? Should I celebrate all of them? If you were me, would you celebrate all of them? I typically do, because I am a nurse. I am a nurse practitioner, and I am a DNP. When I was a nurse practitioner, it was never looked at as weird to celebrate Nurses Week and NP Week. So I'm like, is it weird if I celebrate all three of them now? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go celebrate. I think I'm going to treat myself to, I have a favorite restaurant out here. It's plant-based. It's upscale. I get to dress up. It's called Planta. I love the food. There's a specific location that I enjoy going to right on the waterfront. It's beautiful. So yeah, I think I am going to go and do that. You guys, I will see you in the next video.